So what we have here is we have a scene with several images in already, and I also like to have a frame at the top that blocks out, sort of creates the stage, so things happen within this stage area. And so I'll turn on the images and how I want it to start, at least. And so the first thing I want to do is sort of set these up so that there's nice contrast. I see that there's this tree image here, and I want to create some distance between it and the background. So I'm going to go ahead and accent it, try some different things, like maybe a layer style. I'm going to try a drop shadow, possibly. Maybe I'll just try different things and make this normal. Spread, size. There we go. So now that we've got some distinction, I'm kind of liking that. Okay, with the moon, might try turning down the opacity a little bit, and actually not liking that effect now, so let me copy the layer style, turn it off, and try it with maybe with the moon. Right click and paste. The nature of this assignment, I like that better, is you forces you to use a lot of the tools, and that's really what I want to have happen. Now I think it would be really cool to have this element in front, so I'm going to go ahead and select that, this area. Well, let me just go and use okay, and it is on this image, so I'm going to hit Control Copy, Control V. So now it's in front as well, and let me try pasting that layer style on it. Okay, I want to try changing that layer style, possibly to a different color, or maybe even purple, make it magical. And I want to lighten it up, so I'm going to add an adjustment layer of vibrance. Okay, now to add this, make this adjustment layer only affect these bushes like in front. I'm going to hold the Alt key and click on the in between the layers. Okay, so now when I go back to the vibrance, I can see that it's only going to affect that one layer. Okay, I'm going to name it bushes. Okay, I'm also going to reduce that drop shadow. Now that I've changed the vibrance, I want to reduce the opacity and maybe the spread. Okay, enough there. And with these hills, I'm not seeing these. Let's play with the value scale. So maybe in the front, it's darker, and in the, well, it's lighter. So let's do that. So I'm going to add another adjustment layer to the bushes, which is going to be levels, and I'm going to see if I can't lighten up the bushes. Good. So now it kind of, it's more in the foreground. Again, it's only being applied to that front piece. Okay, I can also play with the blending effect, and I just go to the, always go to the, like the dissolve, and I just hit the down arrow and flip through them. Okay, now I'm going to go to the mountains and try to sort of make that look more in the background. But this water here, let me just click. I want the water definitely separated. All right, so I shall go with my, and I'm going to go ahead and click through, do my best to select the water area around this island thing. Voila. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Control C, copy, Control V, paste. I'm going to name it water. Now that it's on a separate layer, let's try to increase the vibrance. I'm going to go at an adjustment layer, and I'm going to do, first I'm going to do levels. And I'm going to also hold the Alt key and click right in the middle of the adjustment layer and the layer below it so that it's only applying to the water. Add another adjustment layer. I'm going to add hue saturation, which happens to be one of my favorite. So you can really do some nice things. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? I can totally change. Sorry, but you see it's actually affecting more. It doesn't seem to be affecting just the water layer for some reason. Oh, I know what it is. I didn't click there. There we go. So now it's just affecting the water. Isn't that nice? Okay, so now let's deal with the mountains and get them a little bit pushed back. So here I'm going to add another adjustment layer, and that is going to be hue saturation. Again, I will click right in the middle there, so it's only applying to the mountains. And now I'm going to play with the saturation and the lightness because I want to push it back. Okay, so next I want to do something with these hills back here, and the mountains, that is. So I'm also going to add an adjustment layer, and that's going to be hue saturation, and I'm going to play with the saturation and the hue and the lightness, and I like that better. It's kind of going back more. And again, I'm going to click in the middle of the two layers to make it apply just the background. All right, so now we just have our moon, which is fine, and that's looking good. On the mountains, I'm also going to try adding a layer style, like, I'm not sure, I'll try a drop shadow. Change it to normal. And right now I don't even see it. There we go. Ooh, cool. I like that. But not as intense. So I could bring it way up so it actually makes the whole area darker if I wanted. Size. Ooh, cool. Distance. I don't want that. And I can also play with the way that, look at that, isn't that cool? But I don't want to do that this time. And make it a different color, maybe a purple instead, or blue. Wow, that's cool. I like that. And play with the blending effects of them as well. Wow. That's kind of cool. I'm going to leave it like that. I'm going to reduce the opacities. I don't want it as bright. Okay. And I want to see, I want to darken this a little bit. I think what I'll do is I'm just going to use the dodge tool. Oh, actually the burn tool is what I want. Yeah, the burn tool. And I want to darken the corner of this mountain a little bit so it's not sticking out as much. I'm just going to go to this layer and do the same thing. And lastly, let's try an effect on the tree. Just change the shadow maybe. But instead of a drop shadow, maybe try an outer glow. Lastly, what I want to do with this is I want to add a levels adjustment layer. Ooh, that's nice. And I only want it to apply to this tree area, so I'm going to click, and there we go. And I can play with how it is. Outer glow. Drop shadow. All right, we'll start with that. That's going to do it for me, you see? Kind of popping it out a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to start to create some animation.